Meeting to order, please.
Everything, yeah.
First on the agenda is review of old and new business, planners report.
Sure. So as you know, I've been discussing the MBTA communities requirement, which requires that we zone for 768 units of multifamily. The deadline is July 31st for an action plan. So we held a meeting with Kevin, the chairs of the planning board, zoning board, selectmen, housing authority, and then Bill Keegan, Gabby, and I met to discuss like how we're going to approach it. And the group basically decided they would like the residents to have a say on this. So we're meeting Monday with Frank Spillane and Bob Cutler to discuss. Right now, I think Bob was saying he was leaning towards having it go to a vote at the election. So, which, shoot me now, because that means we will be responsible for getting all the information out there, and we'll be just talking about housing for more months, which, as you know, we don't want to do that anymore. So anyway, just stay tuned for that. It's not great because it's a law, and technically there's really no mechanism by which to not follow the law. But we're also going to write a letter that outlines, you know, there's a lot of things going on, and Foxborough's done their share. We're counting the number of apartments in town, the number of apartments in the pipeline, all the work that's going on with affordable housing, the fact that just all that. So.
Why is he leaning more towards a vote from a ballot perspective versus at town meeting?
I don't know, I'll let you know. Probably because of coverage, more people attend
Right.
an election than they do, town meeting. You get like 100, 200 people at town meeting, whereas an election you get
Maybe we'll
thousands.
get a better turnout.
Yeah, so, I mean, the referendum's not gonna mean anything, really. I mean, it's, we all know how it's gonna go, let's be real. And I don't think it will mean anything to the state either, because they don't care. But, we also are just saying, let us bring it to the people, and we'll have to do a good job educating them, and so, yay. So stay tuned for that, we're working on that. Many communities are just doing it, so it's pretty hard. We're like kind of alone. Today I was in a meeting in Marlboro, I think might not be. So we're gonna talk to Marlboro and a few other communities, but most are just going along with it. Uptown parking, I have a couple maps over there that I left up just from the selectmen's meeting. We have now a map that shows all the available parking uptown. We also Tuesday night got a parking policy approved for 10-minute parking spaces and discussed some relocated accessible spots. So I don't know if anybody went to the Light Uptown event on November 26th, but it was pretty awesome, and it was really well attended, and there was no shortage of parking for that event. So it was, things are working. We actually have a meeting scheduled, and my next item is we have a meeting scheduled for January 23rd to discuss the Central Street lot. That's our next focus. So kind of trying to improve how that functions, the aesthetics. We got $50,000
That's the one
from,
behind the building?
yes. Yeah, and we're seeing it used a lot more, and when Wall Street opens, we think there'll be some more demand for spaces. So we want to make sure we're maximizing the use of it, and then we're having some conflicts over dumpsters. And anyway, we're just going to take a look at that. The exciting news is we're holding the meeting at Station 1, which is Shoveltown. So that we're hoping to get the Central Street businesses to come, and we thought that location might entice people to come because everybody's going to be nosy to see how it is. So that's January 23rd. That letter is going out tomorrow or Monday. We got a almost $200,000 grant for electronic permitting upgrade. So planning and zoning conservation will be going on that eventually, but for right now, we're focused on the building department. So, but we have some procurement to do, and we will get involved in that. For our tourism initiative, I don't know if anybody saw the billboards, but on Route 1, there's some billboards around, so that was exciting. Town meeting, just a reminder, we're meeting on January 30th with a snow date of February 13th. And then I'll be going over the zoning articles quickly. Bill Keegan's retirement party is scheduled for Thursday, March 30th. Stay tuned for more information on that. And then I just have on our report the coverage for the planning office during vacation, Christmas vacation week. So zoning. I just wanted to we don't have to get into these, this is just I wanted you all to, we're actually getting ahead of the game. Usually, as you know, it's a scramble. The warrant closes February 15th, I believe, so we're trying to get in front of this now. Some of this is just housekeeping, like replacing the term town planner with my title, and then saying it'll be, me or designee. Limited site plan review on that list is really just what we did for daycares and other exempt uses. It's just sort of a modified site plan review to acknowledge the limitations of the law. We have some definitions that Scott Shippey, our building commissioner, would like added in to, for things that he has to interpret. It's not really anything major changes except junkyard. He was going to amend that. We're going to fix something about the environmental impact statement. It just, it still refers to paragraph D. There is no paragraph D, so we're going to fix that. That probably happened during codification a bunch of years ago. And then the special permit process, take a look at that and change the sort of who they meet with prior to filing. So that is what we have proposed, and stay tuned for more on that. There'll be a couple more articles, I think, but I just wanted to, as they became available. We're having a committee. It's Gabby, Barney Overett, and Scott Shippey. We meet every couple weeks, and so this is what we've come up with so far. So stay tuned for more.
Okay, do we have anything on the active subdivisions?
No, we received the as-built plans for the Orchard Place subdivision, so the work there is completed. They still need to leave some money behind for the trees that were planted, for 2 years. But other than that, the work is completed. So you'll probably see them coming in the next few weeks requesting the bond reduction.
Okay, good. Diana, minutes?
I emailed out minutes from October 27th yesterday. Got no comments back from everybody, so I assume they're good.
Make a motion to accept the meeting minutes from October 27th, 2022.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, we have an A&R plan, 8082 Willow Street. We sharing? Sure.
We'll share.
I have reduced size copies if it's easier. Rim Engineering, Craig Siganowski, representing David and Jean Baker, which the owner of the front lot is Jean Baker. The owner of the rear lot at number 80 is David Baker. They're mother and son. She's looking to sell the front house, number 82, but before that happens, David would like to take a piece of the land and combine it with his lot. These two lots were originally divided in 1993. So his lot is the rear lot, 414,000 square feet, and her lot is the front, presently at 55,000. We're looking to take 10,000 square feet and combine it with the rear lot. So the frontage will remain as it is. There's, calling it Lot 1B on the plan, the triangular lot at the back of the right-hand rear corner of house number 28 lot. There's a heavy row of cedar trees right about where that line is, and that's what he is looking at it as a barrier to, a visual barrier for his property.
So bottom line, it's just taking $10,000 square feet and from, a non-buildable portion from one to another. Doesn't affect frontage.
What is the ultimate purpose?
Like I said, it's a visual barrier. There's a row of cedar trees not shown on the plan, but roughly 10 feet the other side of the property line were created that where his driveway is along straightaway in that area, he just doesn't, for whatever reason, doesn't want anybody to see what's.
He doesn't want the new owners to
Basically,
come in and cut them
The new
down.
owners here can't cut anything down.
Right, leaving a visual barrier of the trees to block the view of his driveway.
Okay. Any other questions from the board?
No, I have no issue.
Do we have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve the A&R for 8082 Willow Street as submitted.
I'll second that.
All in favor? Aye. Trace? Hands out, so be careful.
Thanks.
So Ron, on the parking lot expansion for Gillette, that's obviously a plan approved a while ago, and we just have some plans, that if you guys could make a motion to just sign them and sign them after the meeting.
Sure.
And there's a lot to sign.
Do we have a motion to endorse the plans for the Gillette parking expansion? We signed after the meeting.
Yes, so moved.
Gary seconding.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Lawson Farms, request for lot release and setting of bond. Mr. Buckley.
So, yeah, do you want us to, go ahead. Gabby's busy.
So, Mr. Chairman, ladies and gentlemen, good evening. For the record, my name is Bill Buckley from Bay Colony Group, and I'm here representing Lawson Farm LLC. So for the last week or two, we've been working with Gabby and the department, DPW, on getting putting together a bond number and putting together a lot release for Lawson Farms. So I think I'd rather turn it over to Gabby right now and just let her continue with it.
Okay.
Thank you, Bill. Thank you for vamping. So the, Mr. Buckley submitted an estimate. You have a memo from me along with his letter and the worksheets of all the different portions. There's two roads, and there's two for each phase. There's also a memo from DPW Director Chris Gallagher with an update on the construction of the road. And they request that we hold a contingency of 20%, which is what we tend to do in these cases. So my recommendation is that the board set a new bond amount for phases 1 and 2 for $712,846.74. We're currently holding $337,881. So the difference, the outstanding amount would be $374,965.74.
Do we have any thoughts or comments from the board?
No, I trust the numbers.
And Chris and Lance Del Priori, the town engineer, have both reviewed the numbers. Lance provided input during this week after reviewing the numbers. Mr. Buckley revised the amounts according to what Lance
Right.
requested. And they're the ones that have been inspecting the work, inspecting the subdivision.
I've reviewed everything earlier, and I'm fine with it. So that is the first part of it.
So I'd take a motion to set the bond.
Right. So-
Motion to increase the bond.
To set the new bond amount
at 374?
At 712.
Okay.
46.
Make a motion to set the new bond amount for Lawson Farm subdivision at $712,846.74.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, so now we need what, lot release?
So then the next
Now we're gonna,
request is for what?
It's for
Lot release?
Yeah, for lot releases for Phase 2. We had discussed, because there's concern because the street still doesn't have power, the new portion of the road doesn't have power. And we felt that it was something that was necessary. But Chris Gallagher spoke with somebody from National Grid, and they've changed the way that they're working right now. It's constantly, with turnover of staff, procedures change. So right now, what Chris is writing in his memo is that they would prefer to wait until a house is under construction in that phase to provide power to that portion. So what we are recommending is that we release some of the lots on Phase 2 and withhold 2 lots until National Grid has provided power for the rest of the project.
How many-
for
We're
Phase 2.
sorry, Gabby, withholding. If we're withholding 2, how many are you recommending we release?
We released 9,
Release 9 and hold 2?
yes.
And the reason for those 9, right, is that they're sold already, or they're committed already, so, you know, and I believe there's some agreements by the end of the year to deliver the lots, so it would be, so it's kind of a catch-22. We kind of wanted to hold out and say, until you have power, don't give any lot releases, but it seems like National Grid won't elevate them to the next list. So, and given that there are, you know, future residents and some of our local builders waiting for delivery of these lots, it just seemed, you know, and Chris seemed to think that was a good way to go, is to actually release the lots that are under commitment, but hold on to the ones that aren't, which are 2 of them, to kind of, as leverage, because we all know they're going to want to get the release on those as well.
and in the discussions we had was very similar, that National Grid won't pull until there are foundations in the ground, where in the past, we be able to leverage it and say, no, we have to have power to them, but now where that has changed, I don't really, you know, I think I agree with what Gabby has to say.
Okay. And what I would request is that the board, when you vote, that you vote to release the lots, these lots contingent with the submission of the bond. So once we have the bond in place is when I release the form
Right.
to Mr. Bonvy.
So to be the adjusted bond amount, he would have to bring forward of 374.
Right. So once we're in receipt of the extra $374,965.74, then I would release the form.
Okay.
But you want them to sign it tonight, right?
But I would like for the vote, the board to vote tonight and sign this form tonight, and I would hold this.
You're a slave driver,
She
Gabby.
doesn't want us to go on.
She's going to guard it with all her,
Well, we need the list of lots to be released in order to make the motion.
Okay.
Gabby has
I was
that.
just thumbing through, I didn't see it here, so,
Forgot to put that in there.
okay.
So these are the lots right there, here, there's 3.
Right. So,
Do you want me to make the
do
motion?
you want to make the motion reading? Those are,
Okay. Make a motion to release the following lots in Lawson Farm subdivision. Lot 23, 10 Conway Lane. Lot 8, 11 Conway Lane. Lot 24, 12 Conway Lane. Lot 9, 13 Conway Lane. Lot 25, 14 Conway Lane. Lot 10, 15 Conway Lane. Lot 26, 15 Goodwin Drive. Lot 14, 16 Goodwin Drive. Lot 13, 18 Goodwin Drive, contingent upon the receipt of the additional bond amount of $374,965.74.
Second that.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Fine.
You're welcome.
Look at that. Perfectly on time, Mr. Bresci.
That doesn't happen often. No, we're actually behind.
No, right here.
This is, well, I have to say that these are not happening, so get out of here.
Okay, you want me to do it?
If you want to do it, go ahead.
I'll do it. The continued public hearing for the special permit at 2 Washington Street, which is the construction of a 224,000 plus gross square foot warehouse office building. The applicant has requested a continuance till January 12th, 2023 at,
Oh.
7, want to do 7:15? Or
Sure.
7:10? There's nothing on the agenda right now.
7:10.
7:10.
Earlier the better.
At 7:10. So just a reminder for the folks, because I know this is a spirited topic, that there will be another public notification in the newspaper.
It will not be.
There will not be, that's what I said. And that you can check the agenda, that'll be published by Diana prior to the meeting, but again, that'll be continued until January 12th at 7:10. On the continued public hearing, special permit and definitive subdivision of 204 East Street, 12-lot subdivision, Pine Estates, Pine Air LLC. The applicant has requested a withdrawal without prejudice.
Yes, and so before you make a motion, we did want to advise, they did come speak to us about sort of what they're working on. We recommended they withdraw, just so that this didn't drag on, and it's hard to follow it sometimes, but we did think, and Kevin, I think, agreed to this, that we did agree that we would not require a new application fee at the time that they file. We did collect a fee already, and they would have to do, advertising, Abutter notification, and the engineering review fee, because those are actual costs, but the application fee itself, we felt, could be waived, since they've already paid it once, so.
Next to you, but you and Mike.
I'm fine with that.
I'm fine with it
So
as
we need a
well.
motion.
Yes, sir.
So I'll make a motion that we allow the applicant to withdraw without prejudice 204 East Street
And not have to pay to refile.
and not have to pay to refile.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. It being some time after 7:20 PM. Now I sound like Kevin. Public hearing, special permit, 81 North High Street, accessory apartment, Armand and Kathleen Fernandez.
Good evening, Mr. Chair. Michael Corey for the applicants, Kathleen and Armin Fernandez, and their children, Kayla and Scott Gilbert. We're here, and I'm here with Cameron Gray of Bay Colony, who is the engineer who assisted and prepared the application. This property was built in 1972, and we're here to correct an oversight on construction of an in-law apartment that has slipped through the cracks for 32 years. It was built 4 owners ago in 1990. And until the Gilberts, together with their parents, in-laws, depending on which one of the Gilberts we're talking about, we're working on buying this. We checked the building records and found that the apartment, in-law apartment, which was built, was never actually approved. I have photographs from North High Street and Cook Street.
Thanks.
They're Google Earth.
Thank you.
It turns out the owner in 1990 pulled a permit to build a garage and a family room, and got that permit in October of 1990 and went ahead and built a full in-law with a kitchen, a bedroom, a family room. And it had been sitting undiscovered, although there is a letter. It's uncertain when that letter was issued by the building department, indicating that there was a, that the fact that there was a kitchen in the unit made it illegal and they needed to fix it, but apparently there was no follow-up. In any event, Your applicants, when they were buying the property, found this issue. We worked out with the building inspector, the fire department, the health department, and in consultation with Cameron and Mr. Buckley, we decided to go forward with this and submit an application for retroactive approval. The application lays out that this property, that the in-law apartment as constructed fully complies with 8.1 of the accessory department, the section in the bylaw. I'm sorry. First of all, it's, the setbacks are fully within the setbacks required. The existing in-law unit blends in, as I hope you can see in the photographs, in with the rest of the unit. There is, the accessory apartment is 820 square feet, well within the 850 limit in 8.1. There's parking for 6 cars, including 2 in the garage, so it meets that consideration. The property is heavily, has heavy natural screening from other units, both going down Cook Street and going down North High. And the utilities include electricity, water, septic, haven't been separated. They're all one. This would never be a rental apartment. And this is intended to be occupied by Kayla Gilbert's parents.
From a septic standpoint, how many bedrooms is it built for?
That's what I was just gonna ask.
I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. I learned.
I should have addressed that. There are 4 bedrooms, and we're going to record, per the health department's request or insistence, a restriction that it can only be 4 bedrooms.
And that's what the system is sized for now?
Yes,
Okay.
that's exactly, yeah.
So it would be a building permit pulled in all inspections
Yes.
as far as they can?
So, yes, yes. In the context of the sale, the seller and buyer, both together, pulled building permits to remove a door from what would be a home office, because they didn't want it to be considered a bedroom, and also removal of the electric stove and the electric stove plug. The buyers are going to pull permits to have those reinstalled. But the door will be gone, stay gone.
I'm good.
It seems like the Stairs Act is the.
Tom, you can vote on this one, just so you know.
All right.
You get all the power. We good?
There's a secondary means of egress through the deck in the back. There's a door, I think, in the kitchen, right?
Yes. With a ramp.
So that satisfies one of the building requirements. We faced that a couple of apartments ago.
Is there any requirement it does not meet?
No, and it's the one glaring thing was the septic. So Matthew Brennan, the health director, requested to do an inspection of the house, which he did, and he determined that there is a 5th bedroom because of building code. There's different things that make a determination that a room can be considered a bedroom. So the applicants have agreed to do a deed restriction so that there's only 4 bedrooms in the house, so that meets the requirements. And that needs to be recorded with the building department, and I think, yeah, I can't remember, this with somebody else.
We'll record it with the registry of deeds, and then I deliver a copy to the building department.
And Mr. Chairman, I'd just like to acknowledge their efforts here, because, you know, obviously this is sold numerous times, and there wasn't diligent, you know, we wouldn't know about this necessarily, so obviously they're going above and beyond by bringing it into compliance. You know, they could have easily just moved mom and dad in, and no one would have known, and no one would have been for the wiser. So, and the reason we care about that is safety. You know, we want to make sure things are done right and that, you know, the rules are followed. So this is a headache for them to a degree, I bet, but they,
Very
you know,
commendable.
it's
So,
commendable to do it right, so we appreciate that.
Yep.
Appreciate it.
Are you the young couple?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Good job.
Handled very well. Everyone looks young to me.
Do we need to put any contingency upon approval, that they pass inspections, or will we fine with that?
I think we're fine with that. I think building department will handle it all, and honestly, at this point, I mean, it was constructed, what, 30 years ago or something? So I-
1990.
Fallen down yet?
Yeah, so I think we just acknowledge, you know, everybody seems to think it's good, so let's just
Okay.
let it get on the books, and then that way we know it's safe. You know, it's as safe as we can tell from the outside looking
Do
in.
we have a motion on the floor to accept?
Yep, we have a motion on the floor to accept the application for the accessory.
Approve the special permit.
Approve the special permit for the accessory apartment at 81 North High Street.
Second that motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you
Thank you.
very much.
Thank you.
Guys,
Welcome
Thank
to
you.
town.
Thanks. Close the special permit, is it a special permit or public hearing? I'm right.
Do I have to close the public hearing?
We should.
Make a motion to close the public hearing.
Second. All in favor? Aye.
Just say aye. Close the public hearing.
Okay, it is
I'm glad they did, yeah.
being a little after 7:25 PM, informal discussion, 7 Perry Drive. Mr. Buckley.
Where's Perry Drive again? Panis.
Yeah, it's before Paris.
I got that, and I got septic.
Wow, Tracy.
I did run
I'm
it.
impressed.
I'm on the game today, people.
Oh, I forgot what this project was. I was like, oh, yeah, now I remember. Let's share.
I've seen these plans before.
It's nice to see there's good people in the universe. You do the right
I have 3. You must have not, I got yours.
Look at you passing out sweets.
He's got a second gig as a server.
Given.
Are you going to work up at Station 1?
I'm hoping to get a job there.
Oh, by the way, today I got email from the Vietnamese restaurant,
Yes, and
and
Where's that going in?
8 Wall Street, where Sal's Mouth was. Yeah, and they're just checking in on final permits, so they're getting there. They got refrigeration the other day, and stay tuned.
their help yet? Because I know they were trying to get help.
Yeah, they were trying to get help. I don't know, but I took the email to be a good sign, so we're working with them to make sure we get all the Ts dotted, Ts crossed and Is dotted, but it's hopefully soon.
That's great.
And there'll be a new bagel shop up on Route 1.
The one.
I
Yep.
thought there'd be, like,
So
I
Dunkin'
thought
Tooties
people were
gets a
here
little
for the
competition
Bondi
now.
thing, because we got
Hey,
so many.
competition
They're
is
closer for
good.
me.
Well,
Yeah,
there
oh,
was
yeah.
one person here for Lawson Farm.
That's what I meant, Bondi, yeah.
There was one guy, yeah. You guys ready?
Yep.
Oh, yeah, we're
Hurry up before I fall
clock the
asleep.
tick-tock.
H said we have to be out here by 8.
7:45 it turns out.
45, okay. I will talk fast. So, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. For the record, my name is Bill Buckley from Bay Colony Group, and I work, working for Technimetals, Inc., which is a metal fabrication facility located at 7 Perry Drive. As Tracy pointed out, 7 Perry Drive is, you go on Route 1, go into Walpole, take your next right after Dimitri's, that's Fox Hill, and then that turns into Perry Drive, that turns into Panis Road. So let me, this first plan I'm going to put up, and the first plan is you're looking at, the second plan, if you go to the second sheet that I gave you, this gives you a better view of where it is and overall. And so this is sharing now. So this is, if you look at the plan, you look at the top of it, that's our lot, where it says 1776 Washington Street Realty Trust. And what they're proposing, they came to me and said,
Where?
hey, we want to build, I'm sorry?
Where's your thing? I'm sorry. Oh, okay.
At the very top, right up here.
Thank
Where's
you.
your
Okay,
pointer?
thank you.
Sorry?
Where's your pointer?
They get mad at me because the people from home
it.
can't see it.
Oh, okay.
So I can do that. So anyway, so this parcel, it's about 60,000 square feet. And I've told the story to Paige and Ron the other day, but if you go up there and look at those buildings are built right to the setback. They're like maxed out. 25 sides, 50-foot rears. So what he came to me and said, I'd like to expand my business. I'm like, wow, that's great, manufacturing, United States. But I looked at it, I said, you can't expand because you've maxed out your facility, your site. So he said, what I can do? I said, well, see if you can buy some land from the people behind you. So if you look at that, this should be familiar with the board. This is 3545 Panis Road. That's what this big site is. So this is 45 Panis Road, and this is 35, which is half built. And this was all Nick Panagopoulos' property, which he
Right.
sold at the beginning of last year, 21, just before he passed away. And now it's owned by a REIT or somebody, Berkeley, somewhere out west. So he approached them and said, I'd like to purchase a piece of property so I can build, expand my building. And they said, yeah, we'll do that. So he's been working with them for the last year or so, trying to come up with this. And so what we've done is I've showed you this so you can see how it will really not impact anything on that project. And I had to do this for the people who own Berkeley, because they're like, how's this going to impact us? Is it going to take up land we can expand to? All those questions. And my answer is no. This is on dry land on the other side of the wetland from the building. They cannot fill any more wetlands up there because they've maxed it out to build their driveway. So it's not impacting any land they use. It doesn't affect lot coverage, doesn't affect floor area ratio, which Foxborough doesn't have anyways. So all of that, is really no impact. But I wanted to show this to you so you can see where it's coming out of. So if you go back to that first page, and I apologize, it's not, I should have made it darker after our last meeting. But if you look up here on the board, this orange line is the lot that is going to be purchased from the south. And this heavier dark building is the building, and this red is the expansion. This is all very preliminary, as you can tell by me, because I draw rectangles and right angles, and, the architects make it beautiful, but I don't do that. But we just wanted to do this for one main reason. And the issue is, if you look at the site, in order to get to the back, you have to go either on this side or this side. Now, I'm just going to go through this. I know zoning is boring, but in this zone, you have to have, because it's commercial, abutting commercial. This building is 25-foot setback from a lot lines. So see, it's 25 here, it's 25 here. But the zoning says that you must have a 10-foot vegetated buffer when you have commercial to commercial. So subtract 25 minus 10, that leaves 15 feet. The fire department wants a minimum driveway of 20 feet. So I physically cannot meet that section of the bylaw. I only have 25 feet to work with. So what's the solution? The solution is coming to the board under section 6.4.8.1 of the zoning, which is the screenings bylaw. The board has the authority to allow, in lieu of the green buffer, a fence. So if the board will allow a fence, now I have the room to put in a driveway to access the back of the building. If the board will not grant that, it is a waiver, but it's a section of the bylaw that says you may waive 6.8.1. If the board does not grant that waiver, this project is dead, because we physically can't get back there if I have to have 10 feet of green space.
So if you could go up there because you're not allowed to use your pointer, maybe, because I'm blind, where are you envisioning the fence would go?
right here,
And,
along this lot line, or the architect's playing with it, or it would be on this lot line.
and both sides abut industrial, right?
Right.
Yes, so this is another commercial building, it's an L-shaped building, and this is a commercial building as well, and they have lots of trucks and.
Yeah, I know that.
You know what I mean, they rental up there, and this is just, it's a condo, and it has different users.
Right, but there's
So-
about 30 feet of buffer onto 11 Perry Drive of just vegetation.
Yeah, it's 25 feet. Really, when I say it's maxed, everybody maxed this out, understandably. So that's where it would go. It would go on this lot line or that lot line, or one or both, depends on how it finally ends up. But in order to access the rear, that's what we would need to do. And so, that is my question tonight. It's not a, I know you can't vote, but, if I look at you and everybody goes, yeah, I'm okay with it, I would be okay with telling my client to move forward with this. Unlike a residential issue where people come out of the woodwork, I expect nobody to show up to the actual hearing when we do this. So that is the ask, and that's if the board isn't comfortable with it or doesn't want to do that, what I would ask is just tell me that. Just tell me, and that's fine, and I would tell my client, and we won't do that. But
I don't see anything wrong with it.
No, not at all. And the 24 proposed stalls that are shown in the drawing,
Yeah.
Mr. Buckley said that would only be built out if necessary when they do the expansion, but he does have to show it.
Yep.
I have to show that. One of the other questions I might come back to the board, depending when this works itself out, is, so we have a building, and we have, this is warehouse, manufacturing, and office. So depending on how it finally plays out, I might need, the zoning might require me to build more parking than the owner needs. So the owner might only need 24 spaces, but I gotta build 50. So I would.
You might come for.
I might come back to the board and say, could you
Waiver.
please waive that, which you have the authority to under a special permit. I'll show you that I can actually build it. It will be there if it's ever needed, but we don't need to do it. But I'm not at that level yet.
Right.
I don't know that yet. He's still, I just was talking to him or in contact with him yesterday. They're not there yet, because they're trying to figure out the machinery they're gonna buy, how many people they're gonna have, shifts, because they do have shifts. But really, it's really tonight all about the buffering.
I have no problem with it.
No, I'm fine. Gary?
That's good.
Tom?
Nope.
Staff?
No problem.
There you go.
You're
Okay.
welcome, you're welcome.
Don't we have 7:30 though?
That's coming off, too.
It is?
I believe so.
Is 7:30 coming off?
Yeah, so there was an issue with the abutter notification, so we're gonna have to re-advertise and come back, he's coming back at the end
My
of.
mistake.
We don't have to
Okay.
get into whose mistake it was.
It doesn't
was
matter.
just a little
So do we
snafu.
need to make a motion or something?
No, it's not, we're gonna redo it.
Okay.
So it'll be coming back, I believe, at the end of January.
That's the same as Blue Diamond Construction.
That's Blue Diamond, yeah.
Street.
Yeah, that's the one.
Do it.
Make a motion to adjourn?
Gary?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.